Okay. I hope. Good evening, everyone. Um, good evening. Good evening, Otugele. Good evening, Ada. Good evening, Angie. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Hello, Modesola. Good evening. How are you doing? Hi, Mama. Otugele by Sunshine. How are you doing? Good evening. Can everybody hear me? Please, if you can hear me, just let me know in the comments that yes, you're loud and clear. I can hear you. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Good evening, everybody. If you can hear me, please just let me know. Yes, you can. Okay, okay. Oh, okay, fine. That's great. So good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, for joining us. So today we're talking about something really very important. We're talking about wealth, creating wealth, and I have okay, fine. And I have a guest. She's online now. I'm just going to add her without wasting time. So we start immediately. Okay. Um. Okay. I can't find her here. Maybe she went off. So she will come back. So good evening. So today we are talking about something really very important, and it is creating wealth or building wealth. That's what we're talking. Okay. Okay, she has sent a request. I'm here. Okay, I'll just okay.
Hello.
Good evening, Mama.
Good evening. It's so good to see you.
Me too. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
See the way you're glowing.
You are glowing. I'm just like you, my sister. I'm like anybody that can rock their natural hair like this without stress. They are good.
How are
I
you?
can't dare.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. And hello to everybody joining us.
How did your day go?
We thank God. We cannot complain. God has been good.
Okay. Okay, so I've briefed them already the topic. Um
Yes.
and I told them we'll have a guest and you will be joining us. So I want you to just go straight. First of all, introduce yourself for those
Okay.
who they're like, who's this lady? I've not seen this lady before. So maybe like introduce yourself.
Quickly. All right, great. My name is Charles. Hi, hello everyone. My name is Charles Shala for me, but everybody calls me Charles. At least online, I think so. And I'm all about money. I'm all about how can we grow our money. It's not just about working hard. I found out that I've worked. I mean, when I started talking about investment, I'd worked over 10 years at that point, and even though I was making money in my job, I felt like there was something missing. I didn't have to. I didn't. I don't believe I had to work and work and work before I made money. I had to turn myself into 10 versions of myself, 20 versions of myself. And if God created only one of me, then it doesn't make sense for me to just be waiting on just one. I can turn myself into multiple things. And essentially, that's what your money does for you. So once I learned that trick that I can multiply myself by using my money the right way, that's when I started talking about investment. And I've learned that once you give your money a job, your money can outlive you. The reason that we know the Rockefellers and all of these names around the world is because their name and their money outlived them. So if you can make sure that you give your money good enough job to do and you don't waste it and buy wussy, then I believe that you can be stupendously wealthy. It's all about this. And when I now moved to the UK as well, when I moved abroad, that's when the value actually comes in, because I feel like if you're sitting in Nigeria, you're in a very solid position. But if you come to the UK, if you are in the UK or abroad, and the sort of money, I know that we do have a lot of bills and taxes and all of those things that you regularly don't do in Nigeria. But I promise you, even if it's £10, 100 quid, $100, €100, you are able to put aside every single month. There is no reason why you cannot turn to a millionaire. And
I mean,
millionaire
as
literally
small as are you saying
without
as
stress,
little as £10?
as little as £10, as little as £20, as like just find the right. places to invest this money, and your money will go out and work for you. And unlike us, that if you do one shift now, 2 shifts now, you'll be very tired. You do it 12, if you do 12 hours. I mean, the other day I was speaking to my brother and he was saying that a guy in his company just literally was driving a service user to their house in the person's car, and he just started palpitating and he died there. Like a 40 something year old man just died there. Like, so if we don't find a way to get our money to do the work for us, we will continue working. And you as a human being, no matter how strong you are, if you work for 12 hours, 2 days in a row, three
Breakdown.
days, you will break down. But you see your money, it will work for you. It will work 26, 25 hours a day, 364 days. It will work continuously. It will work. It will outlive you. You will die. Your money will still be working. Your
And it will
children will
work
die.
for
Your
your
money will still be
children.
working. I'm telling you, it will work for your children, your children's children. So far, you find for a profitable employment. I also learned that, look, if you cannot work for the Googles or the Apples of this world, or all of those great companies you've heard about that they pay their staff very well, if you can't work there, or they don't take you during interviews, the Nvidias and all of these great companies, your money can go and work for you there, and your money puts you even in a more powerful position than a staff. You just need to find for your money profitable employment in this great places, and the stock market provides that for you. So I always believe that while we're in Nigeria, we get it, or in Africa, or in, your own country, when maybe things are not, it's not like the first world country, while it's good and you can, struggle and find your way around things, when you move abroad and you can slowly settle down, I promise you, your ability to create wealth with the right knowledge, it goes to times 10 what you can get when you are sitting and earning a currency that is not doing very well. So if you're earning in pounds, in dollars, and and you are of good health, and you can continually invest something small every month, forgive yourself 10, 20, 30 years, I promise you, by the grace of God, and you are alive in good health, there's no reason you not become a millionaire in dollars or in pounds. There's no reason.
You know, especially with Nigerians in the UK, you hear this thing because talking about saving £10 a month, there are some people they tell you after working, I pay my bills, I'm left with nothing. So how is that person going to
So
save?
I will tell you the truth. If you are working here, thank you very much. Thank you, Divya. If you are working here in this UK, or even anywhere, US and co, and you cannot save 10% or 5% of what you earn, most of us don't like to hear the truth. The truth is, if you cannot save 5% of what you earn or 10% of what you earn here, then you are living above your means. That's
Hmm.
the honest truth. And most of us don't like to hear that truth. You are
Mm-hmm.
likely living above your means. I'll give you an example. Say, hey, God, who are those sending me messages that have not been responded to? That's very unusual. So check. I have two people in my DMs that responds to people. I have an AI who responds very fluently, and I have my executive assistant who is also very, very responsive. So I'm going to check to say if you cannot see. I see Sky to Yaya and Agumbiade saying they sent me some messages. Don't worry, we'll respond to them. I'll personally respond to them. Okay, so like I was saying, you are living above your means if you cannot save at least 5% or something of what you earn. So let me explain. If you are earning 2,000 a month, and that's like low bottom for a lot of people, or 1,009 or 1,008. Most people on this call who are in the UK will know that that's like the amount. And if it's in dollars, it's usually around 3,000, 3,500. That's like the lowest you likely will earn. If you earn that sort of money, and let's say your rent is already 1,004 or something, you are living above your means. Don't deceive yourself. Do you understand? But if you are earning that sort of amount and your rent is like 650, 700, okay, by the time you remove your bills in that sort of house, if you are not living above your means, your bills should be like maybe 300 or under. By the time you remove that, you still have 1K and cool. By the time you remove, thank you. As I do respond to DM very well. By the time you remove your other bills of going out, doing all of those things, by the time you do all of that, you at least £100 you should be able to take. The problem I find is that most of us in the diaspora, especially our family and co that we want to send money to, black tax is
Black
eating
tax.
us. Is eating us badly. Like all the family we want to give money, and I always tell people, yes, please give, but you are only able to give when you are in your right senses and you're able to give, and you have to put a portion to the giving. I'll give you an example. I tell people, Sandra, rejoin us so people can hear us. I tell people if you can hear us, please, guys, just put in if you can hear us clearly, if you can hear what
If
we're
you can
saying,
hear us, please let us
put in
know.
there. And please start putting your questions. We'll take as many questions as possible. So as I was saying, if you're already earning that sort of money, and I was trying to give an example of some things. So if for example, if you're here and if someone called you now and say, thanks, you can hear us, thank you, they can hear us clearly, so please
Yeah.
rejoin. So if someone reaches you now and say that, my sister, please, please help me, I need $1 million, you're going to look at them like, my dear, did I look like Elon Musk? How would the money appear? It's impossible. So that's what I tell people, that sometimes when people reach you for some things, it's about you deciding how much budget do you have, already put there, how much budget you already have put down that you can give. So if you've made it a part of your stuff to say, out of my daily, how much I earn per month, I will give out £100. All my budget for giving for that month is £100. It's
Okay.
easier. You have put a portion to it. If not, I always tell people, you give friends, family, an unlimited access to your budget. And that's the worst thing. Imagine you were in this room now, and as much as you love your uncle or your dad or your mom, you will not leave your door to your room and anybody will just be entering and going out anyhow. No, you love them, I mean, you don't hide anything, but your room to your door, the room you're sleeping in, you don't just want anybody entering and closing and doing all of those things. That's exactly what we do to our budget. Sometimes we give people unlimited access to our money, unlimited access to our wallet. And how do we do that? Is in the guise of giving, empathic giving. So you need to be very selective of how you give. And I always say, put it on a budget. The way that you have a budget for what you eat or something, put your money in what you want to give on a budget, especially if you're abroad. So by the time you carve out a budget and say, each month I will give £100, £100 when you transfer it to Naira is still 200k, depending on your money, on how much you earn. By the time that amount is finished that month, my dear, you close shop. The money you will, any other ask on that point, if it's
The
any
next
other
month.
$50 or something ask, you will easily say, you would in your head, I want you to look at it and say, that money they are asking for is not £50. The money they are asking for is actually $1 million I don't have. That's how you put. If not, I promise you, you will give people unlimited access to your money. And guess what happens? If God forbid you live here today and you go back to your home country, wherever your home country is. Nigeria is most of us, but there are people that follow us from other countries as well. You go back to your home country and you don't have something solid to show for it, I tell you for free, you see, those same people are the ones that will abuse your life. They're the ones that will laugh at you. How many years
How
abroad?
many
Do you have
years have
anything
got
to
nothing to
bring?
show?
Nothing to show for it. So you have to take care of yourself. And I'm not against giving. I think I'm one of the coded givers, most coded givers in the world, that I give to. Yesterday I still gave people. You just will not know, because I don't believe you should make noise about giving. But the thing is, always have a budget for your giving. And if you don't have a budget for it, I promise you, you are giving people, your friends and your family, unlimited access to your wallet. And that's a bad thing to do. So that's on black tax. Now, on investing, if you've been following me, if you are not following me on this call, you're doing yourself a wicked stuff. And if you are not following my sister too, she always shares great info. And I'll tell you something I want us to both do later in the call. But if you've been following me and you're not putting your $20, your £30, your £50 into good solid investment, I think you're doing yourself a world of good. Right now, we're in the process of some of the biggest wealth transfer ever in the world today. Biggest wealth transfer, where companies that we could likely never think of or never participate in are on sale. We can now participate and own some of those companies. And you are sitting down and letting your money sit in a savings account. Like, it's the worst thing you can do to yourself. So your 50, 100, £30, put it into investment. If you put $100 in a company like Nvidia, how many years, 10, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, that money today, if you know how much it's worth, that £100 in Nvidia 10 years ago is worth almost 10,000 today or more. So, and there are companies like that, they're still going to be growing and and you're waiting. I even always say, do ETFs. ETFs are much easier. They don't stress you. They cannot go down too much. You put your money in those. There are ETFs that I can promise you for free today. If you're putting $100, £100, £200 into per month, for the next 20 years, you will become a millionaire. A
Wow.
millionaire in pounds in this country. And most of us, we let those things slip through our fingers because of one, lack of knowledge, because of two, fear, because of three, unbelievable ignorance. Especially our men, God forbid, God forgive me, especially our men.
I was
They're
going to
just-
say something.
Mm,
Some of these things, like you just mentioned, they take time, right? It's not something you just put in your money and you're getting it in 24 hours. And
mm.
where we are coming from, if you agree with me, we like it sharp, sharp.
Ah, it's everywhere. Everybody wants. I always say that people underestimate how much money they can make in 5, 10, 20 years, and they overestimate how much money they can make in a year or 2 years. I have so many people who will come to me and say, I have 1 million naira, or I have 10 million naira. How can you help me? What investment can I put it in that by the end of the year it will give me 20 million? I usually look at them and say, you are the most likely you will lose this money if you go this route. You will get into problems, all these CBEX, PBEX, kidney consex. That's how you will do it. Yeah. So I will tell you for free the reasons that when you are investing, you have to look at the long term. Most of the best investments in the world are long term. They are not today. Now, it doesn't mean that there are no investments I can tell you that can make you 10% in a year or something, but those are fixed investments. And so they're fixed on the amount you will make on them. So they're short-term investments that can make you some money, but they will never give you the potential of the long term, because long-term investment, what you really get from it is, number one, you get compound interest. And what is compound interest? Let me explain very easily for people who don't get it and why we make so much noise about it. Yeah. If you put 100K, or let's say £1,000 now into an investment this year, and the investment grows by 50% this year. So that means at the end of the year, the investment has gotten to £150. Now, instead of you taking the £50, which was the 50, or I'm sorry, 1,500, instead of taking the 500 and saying, I'm going to eat that 500, if you left that 500 and next year, that same investment, you put your money and it gives you another £50, 50%. If you put in back 100 there, it will give you another 150. But if you were to take your 150 that you have now and you invest it and make 50% on it, instead of extra 500, you will make an extra 750. Do you see what I'm saying? So your money compounds every single, and that's what happens when you invest for the long term. If you invest 100K today and it grows by 10, 20% this year, by next year, the 100K has become 120K. If it grows by another 20%, now it's not growing by just 20, it's now grown by 24. Added to the 120 you get. You see what I'm saying? It starts compounding. That's how real wealth, solid wealth that stays with you, that stays with your family forever. That's how it comes in. But most of us, we want sharp, sharp, Jehovah sharp, sharp. That money should just be entering like this, shoo, shoo, shoo. And money like that doesn't last. Have I made money like that? I've made money like that in cryptocurrencies. Crypto is where you can make that sort of money very sharp. But I can tell you for free, it's that same crypto that you can lose so much money. So you have to be on to understand the risk and the reward. But is there ways for you to grow your money exponentially? In investing, slow but steady, I tell you that investment in stocks, in ETFs, in businesses, it's yes, so you get it, instant gratification is where you really, really need to put your money. And I tell you, it's never failed me. I started investing because I believe that, look, if I was doing, I mean, I'm sure like you are hustling, you are doing your day job, you are doing your social media. I cannot tell you how many things I do together, but like most of us, we're probably selling this, selling that. That's how I was doing, but I realized that I was getting tired. I was chasing people for money. People were owing me till tomorrow. If I mention some people who owe me on this internet, that have owed me for gold that I sold to them, or hair that I sold to them, or something I sold to them 10, 15 years ago. Do you understand? So I said there has to be another way to make money. And that's when I discovered investing. And with investing, if I can invest in houses, I can invest in companies, I can invest in countries I've never been in and cool. And you can do it with your 1,000, with your 500. I was telling my husband was checking one of my investment that I did years ago. £1,000 in Apple shares. Then it was Apple, how much was dollar to pounds? I think it was a 400 or 500, something like that. And I bought it. Apple shares. That share, that 1,000 is worth 14,800 today.
Wow.
14,800 in a space of 10 years without me doing anything. Anything. And guess what? I converted naira to dollars, to pounds to do it. When I bought it, sorry, it's in pounds, it's not in dollars. It was about 300, it was even less, it was 250 or something. I converted naira, which was 250K thereabout,
It
to
was
buy
not
it.
as high as now.
My sister. So you imagine the exponential growth I have now based on the currency devaluation that I escaped, and also on the fact that the stock has made money for me. And that's a company I don't work for. And this opportunity is available to all of us, especially if you're in the diaspora. It's available. Like, there's no reason. I find it that the Bible says we perish for the lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is the worst thing that can happen to us. I was down all through. I was down. I was in. You see, today 1:30. You see, I'm telling you, invest, invest. You get why? And do you know the thing? I'll tell you, for the person who is typing, I'll tell you something for free. If you did your investment now today, and you are down this year, I can tell you that if you continue investing every month, it's small. That's why I tell people the trick is investing every month. It's not investing once. The trick is in your £50, your £100, your £30, your £1,000, your £200. The trick is investing every month, because what will happen if you invest every month is you will buy when the market is up, you will buy when the market is down. Let me give you a quick example. Earlier this year, I had some people, quite a number of people. I mean, this year, my one-to-one services, we've probably spoken to over 250 people this year. And in some of those services, people, some of them booked, earlier in the year. You buy, they booked in like January, February, and co. And a lot of people, when it came to April, May, they were like, Shola Fumi, our money is down. This investing doesn't work. Donald Trump, this stuff, all the things he says is causing the market to go down. And I kept saying that, go and buy. That month, every single extra money you can buy, just be buying every month. Because imagine Apple shares is 100 naira today, and you buy it at 100 naira. You have 100 naira, so you bought one. Now, if the market goes down and you buy the next month, and let's say it's now 80 naira by one, that means you won't buy one, you buy 1.2 of Apple shares. The next month again, if the market is down again, you buy another 1 point something. By the time the market goes up again, before you know, you dollar cost average is what we call it, and it comes into a straight stuff that before you know, you make more money. Those same people now, just between April to now, the stock market is up like 30 something percent. So if you bought in just that April when it went down. So I always tell people, you need to see these opportunities, and you need to understand that the market will go up and down. There is no way that you are selling goods today in your shop. If you had a shop and you were selling goods, you cannot sell the same amount today like this. Sell something and you will make 1 million, and then the next day you will go back and make. No, it fluctuates. It's never the same. And that's the way the stock market is. There days will be gone down, days will be down. But in the long term, if you invest in solid ETFs or invest in solid companies, you'll be fine. You have picture evidence, yes. 200 in Tesla. Look, Tesla invested in it. I always tell people the story of how we wanted to buy a house and I sold some of my Tesla shares and I was able to generate 40M for my Tesla shares alone. My husband looked at me and said, this woman. He called my father and said, Shola is keeping secrets. She just sold shares. So you see what that person is saying? I'll tell you for free. It is true. Shares, ETFs will make your life. You just need to invest in the right things. And I see that there's so many people talking about it today. So many people who are now financial influencers. I beg you in the name of God, be careful. The day the market will go down, you will see fire. So be very careful in what you invest in. Please, I beg you in the name of God. I have seen the highs and the lows, and I know what it means. I've been at this for like 6-7 years of investing. So I'm not a newbie in the games. And when I tell you focus on ETFs, focus on things, solid companies, there's a reason why. There's a reason a company is number one. Someone was asking me the other day, Nvidia stock. Oh, Nvidia. When I started buying Nvidia stocks, my Nvidia stocks now, they've given me at least almost 18 times what I invested in it. 18 times what I invested in it. And the reason is because I bought it when I was talking about it, people didn't know who Nvidia was.
Yeah.
Now, the reason Nvidia will continue to be a company that people should invest in, people don't realize they own 80% of market share of these semiconductors. For people who don't know Nvidia, they're a huge company, the largest, most valuable company in the world now. They produce a lot of all these semiconductors and all of those things that used to power AI. All these companies, Meta and Co, they pay them millions and billions for the semiconductors they produce, because that's what they use in all these devices. AI cannot work without their GPUs and all of those things. That's the sort of, in a nutshell, what Nvidia is. So it's a very valuable company. Now people are saying, Nvidia is already big, I don't want to invest in it again. Okay, it's like you saying that there's a man in Ladipo. He has 15 shops where he sells spare parts. He has shops in Lagos alone, 15. He has in
You don't want
Abuja,
to buy
Lagos,
from him
this. But instead, you want to buy from one small boy
small boy because
because
he
his shop is small and I can still invest in it and co. Hey, that child. So if the owner of that big shop, if he wakes up tomorrow, walks to that guy's shop and sees the guy is selling something for £2 or 200 naira, and he decides in his shop to start selling it for 80 naira and lose because he wants people to invest in, because he wants people to, do you know what that will do? That market is dead. So
is
you
there.
have to be careful about the companies you invest in. I see so many people investing, talking about all these things, and I just shudder to think that people are not thinking this through. There's a lot of great financial influencers out there, but there's some that they haven't made their runs. They don't know this thing they haven't been in a bad market that you see things go down very, very much. So you have to do all of those things. Okay, we've spoken quite a bit. Please, if you have questions, start asking them.
I have
But what?
questions. I came with
Yeah,
my big book. This is my book and I
nice.
have my questions.
Nice.
So my first question is, what are the safest ways to
Mhm.
start investing for beginners?
Right now.
Someone who is new, like you're talking about it now, I'm like, okay, this is good.
What are the safest way? Okay, let me tell you the safest way for anybody who wants to invest. Number one, I would not do you a word of good if I don't tell you to at least save 20% of what you earn. If you can get up to 20%, yes. If you can't, even if you can do 10% of what you earn, that's fantastic. Start there. So investing at least 10% of what you earn is important. That's number one. Number two, which is a critical, very, very important element, is now let's put that money to work. What I always tell people to invest in is ETFs. Let me explain what ETFs are so that you can get it. And once you get it, I promise that you can't unsee it. It's like something that becomes stuck in your mind. ETFs are exchange traded funds. So stock exchange traded funds. So they're like mutual funds. I'm sure you've heard of mutual funds. I'm sure people have heard of mutual funds. My question is about how does mutual funds investment work? So don't worry, I'll explain this. But ETFs are literally these mutual funds you're talking about, but they are now listed on the stock market like a stock. So imagine that you go to GT Bank or Stanbic Bank, all of them have mutual funds, but you now take those Stanbic and all of those banks. Instead of it to be tied to them where you want to buy that mutual fund, you have to go to Stanbic to go and buy their own. But now it's listed on the stock market like a stock. That's what a mutual fund is. That's what an ETF is. A mutual fund that is now listed on the stock market. So that's why it's called exchange traded fund. So stock exchange grade traded fund. So they're literally just mutual funds, but they're now traded on the stock market, not tied to a particular bank. So you can buy it anywhere. Yeah, you can buy it anyway. It's as simple as that. That's what a mutual fund, that's what a exchange traded fund is. And as many as there are companies and co in the world, there's ETFs for it. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of ETFs. And I love ETFs because it's like a broom. If I buy Nvidia shares and something happens tomorrow, Nvidia shares can go down by 30%. But when you have just one stick of broom, you can break it easily. But an ETF is like 10, some of them have thousands of companies in there. So you're buying thousands of companies in one when you buy an ETF, or you're buying hundreds of companies. And there are different types of ETFs. So, like I was explaining, one broom, imagine one broomstick is like one stock. If you buy that, like Apple just released their phone, the new phone now, and everybody's talking about it and co. But if Apple shares went down or they released two bad phones or something, their stock will go down. So you can easily crumple that one broom. But a whole broom bunch of broom that is together that you used to sweep, that is
Ah,
already
yeah.
together, it's hard to break it. That's what an ETF is, almost like a broom of multiple 200 companies, 300, 500 companies in one. And once you buy a share of that ETF, you've bought a tiny piece of all the companies in there. And that's what I always tell a lot of beginners to do. Because as much as there are industries in the world, there are ETFs for them. So imagine there's ETFs for things like technology. If you like technology companies, there are multiple technology companies in one instead of you buying just one single one. If you like the top 500 companies in America, there's ETF that tracks that. Even in this UK, there's ETF for the top 100 UK companies. There's ETF for the top 7 companies in the world. And don't worry, on this call, I will tell you people the sort of ETF that I invest in. So you can go and buy those things. Yeah, it's not financial advice, but I'll tell you that those ETFs are done very, very well. So that's what you want to do. And you also have to be careful. When someone tells you, oh, this stock in the last 1 year it's done 500%, it's done 10%. What has that stock or ETF done in the last 10 years? What have they done in the last 10 years? What have they done? How have they made money and co? Sorry, yes, it's a basket. You get it in one. What has that company, how good have they done in the last 10, 20 years? For every ETF, most ETFs that I do, or virtually all ETFs that I do, is almost like a self-cleansing machine. Let me give you an example. The top 500 companies in America. With one ETF, you can buy all of those companies. Top 500 companies with one single ETF, and that means you can put £100, £10 down, and that £10 will cover top 500 companies in one. It's as simple as that. So once you get those ETFs, once you understand it, you see why those things work. And guess what happens? If a company stops being good enough, if this company doesn't meet the criteria to meet that top 500 company, without you knowing, they will remove that company and put another company inside to make up that top 500 company. So it's something that is a self-cleansing machine that's been developed to work for you versus a mutual fund, you know. And people don't realize that. I'm going to give us something very technical for you to understand. Yeah. A mutual fund versus an ETF. Most mutual funds, and go and check as I'm saying this, most mutual funds, for someone who mentioned it, most mutual funds, they are what we call actively managed. What do I mean by actively managed? There's a human being who has to sit down, or multiple human beings who sits down, and their job is to pick the sort of stocks that are in that mutual fund that you buy. So those people, they have to be paid salaries. So that's why most mutual funds will tell you the amount is 1% for you to get in, for you to invest in it. They'll take 1% of your money. So that means that if you invest, let's say 100,000 naira, they'll take 1,000 naira as management fee. And those people, you make money, you don't make money, they'll take their own 1%. Your money grows, it doesn't grow. Their 1% will go back first. That's what a mutual fund will be. But an ETF in exchange is more passively managed, because remember I told you that if some companies don't meet some specific, and for you to get in an ETF, it's usually following an index, and they determine, like this index that I explained, the top 500 companies in America. Yeah, those ones, if your company starts messing up, it doesn't meet the criteria, they will yank you off. They'll put another company in there. So you, as a human being, there's no need for a human being to be seated there and be picking the same thing. So and a mutual fund that will maybe charge you 1% for management and some of those things, an ETF that does the same thing will charge you like 0.03%. What do I mean? So that means that instead of paying 1,000 or the 100,000 naira you want to invest, if you are buying an ETF, you will pay like 30 naira compared to 1,000, not 300, 30 naira compared to 1,000. That's the difference in passively and actively managed. And that's what usually, virtually most ETFs, like 70%, 80% of ETF are passively managed. You don't need to worry. And it's already even built in. So that's why I always say ETFs. Now, this ETF I've told you about now, this top 500 companies in America, I'll give you an example. Did you know that Tesla, it was just added to the top 500 companies in America ETF about 4 years ago? It didn't make the criteria. Just a couple of days ago, in a couple of days, they are adding Robinhood, that company, to the top 500 companies in America. And for them to make way for Robinhood, some companies have to be removed that were not doing well. Caesar's Investment, they removed those companies. So it's like, it's a self-cleansing machine. You don't even have to worry. If a company is not doing well, they remove it, they bring another one. So it's always a very, very good way for you to invest and go. And that's what I love about ETFs. Now, this same ETF I've told you about, this top 500 companies in the world, in the last 100 plus years, as far back as 100 plus years, if you are investing in it, you'll have made an average of 12% a year. As far as 100 years, there's a lot. You can barely find any single mutual fund or investment in the world that will give you that.
That's
As far back as 100, or like 100 plus years. And that's what I tell people. If you go to some stocks and co and you look at them over 10 years and 20 years, and if it's not doing well, if it just does well in the last few days, run. Because that means they don't have longevity. And that's what ETFs offer you. If a company is doing well, is in the ETF. If it stops doing well, they yank it off. And the same way I've explained that there's some ETFs that makes money, for that makes sense in pounds, already invested to convert. Why? Why do you want to convert your money to naira? Hey God. Hey God, that down one. Don't put your money in naira. Why do you want to change it to naira? And already invested in stocks. No, it doesn't make sense. So please don't do it. I'll say don't do it. Okay. So like I was explaining, you want to make sure that, sorry, I'm just making my table go down a bit because it was too high for me. So like I was explaining, you have to ensure that when you are in the top 500 companies in Nigeria, like in Africa, in America, like I say, there's other ETF that tracks things like technology. So
Mm-hmm.
in it, you will see like 300 technology companies, and if you buy one share of that ETF, you bought all the different technology companies in one. There's an ETF I'm going to tell us on this call that it has the top 7 companies in the world. Top 7 companies in the world there. So if you buy that ETF, you basically bought Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, and co. The top 7 companies. So you don't need to go and be buying them one by one. And there are multiple ways. Like ETF for technology. ETF for technology, I always shout about. It makes an average of 20% a year without you lifting a muscle. 20% on a year on multiple tech companies, and it's done that for the last 20 plus years. You see me when I talk about investment, I don't talk about things that make money in 2 years or something. It has to be as in long term. They have to be doing it for the long term, because if you don't, that means that, hey, my people, don't worry, we will tell you up. Just relax. Make sure you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Just follow. The reason I say for beginners to follow ETFs, you get why. You will. I'm not saying don't buy individual stocks, but make sure your portfolio, your investment, it is solid. It is built. Think of your ETFs as your foundation or
Mm.
your decking of your investment.
This for beginners, right?
Yes, for even for I mean, an established investor, most of my money is in ETFs. I still buy individual companies, but most of my money is in ETFs, because you don't go wrong with it. You
Mm.
can't go wrong, because it's multiple companies and it's a self-cleansing machine. If something is happening, if a company is not doing it again, they remove it. If a company is doing what they put it, imagine you invested in top 500 companies in America now, and let's say 30 of the companies decide to be unfortunate in one year and they crash. You still have 470 to cover for it.
All right. Yeah.
Do you understand? You still
Mm-hmm.
have all of that to cover for you. So if you don't have that, if you now bought just one stock that goes down, you have to be sure. You have to be careful. Yeah. So that's why I say ETFs. And I'll tell you. I mean, I usually tell people, if you're not following my page, you're losing. I always talk about the investment that I
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't lie. I mean, I can add some in private to people. Maybe they reach me or something, or how they can do it. But I'll tell you for free. The investment that I do are very easy. ETFs will save you any day, anytime. The top 500 companies in America is one. There are different ETFs. There's ETFs for growth companies, companies that are doing well, they are growing. There's ETFs that you just buy that ETF. All those companies, you've bought it. And again, you can put your $5, your $10. If you invest that 12%, that, let's say your money in ETF like the S&P 500 for the next 30, 40 years, 30 years and so, just 100, you are fine. And whereas you can mix it, you can decide to put 30 of your money, $30 of your money, or £30 into this ETF that tracks the S&P 500. You put another 50. The
The
ETF that I said in my Coinbase, no, it's different. So wait, let me quickly tell you that people are asking, they want to go and buy immediately. So people are asking the places you can buy ETFs. If you are right now in the UK, you can definitely use Trading 212, eToro, and Co. You can buy ETFs on them. Please be nice enough to ask for my link so that we can get free shares together. If you use my link, they'll give you free shares, they'll give me free shares. So just holla at me. Yeah? Just holla at me. Just message me in my DM. Immediately holla at this I'll send you the link so that you get free shares. Just free. Up to £100. Free shares.
someone is
Yeah?
asking a question. Do I need a broker or
Yes, now that's
how?
what I'm talking about. So and you need an app. You don't need a physical. An app will do your broker. That's the brokerage we'll use now. An app. So the app I'm talking about is Trading 212 or eToro. Trading 212 is fantastic. I'm not going to lie. Trading 212 is great because it's easy and cool. It's very easy to use. I talk about it a lot, and you can get my link, so you can get free Trading 212 share. So you can message me to get my link. Now, Trading 212, and the good thing is Trading 212 and eToro work in a lot of countries in the world. Lots of countries. Australia, about 70 something, 20 something countries in Europe. eToro is eToro. Yeah. But Trading 212 is fantastic. You can buy it anywhere. Yeah. Trading 212 is great. Like I don't even you don't even have to use my link. It's just both of us get free shares. So you might as well just use my link and get free shares. But Trading 212 is great, or eToro is also fantastic. Any of those two is fine. And immediately once you register on it, You put your money and all of the, you can buy all these shares I'm speaking about. It's very simple. Don't
Okay, so
worry, I'll
that is
give you my recommendations
recommendations of stock and
of
ETF.
stocks and ETFs. Don't worry, I'll tell you my ETFs and co. So, but the first step is get the app. Now, like I've told you, Trading 212 works in Europe. eToro as well works in Europe. If you're in Australia and co, you can use Trading 212 and co. I'll tell you a bit about Vanguard in a moment for Femi that asked me about Vanguard. 2020 will make every 2020 is fantastic and it's commissions free. If you're in Nigeria, of course, you know the Bamboo, Truve, Chaka, Vest, Haisa, all of them are there. So you can use those ones if you are in Nigeria. So different countries, different. If you're in the US, you can definitely use all the Vanguards. You can use Robinhood. You can use all of them if you're in America. Now, for someone who asked me specifically about Vanguard, you can use Vanguard if you can buy ETFs on them. For me, the reason you use, imagine Vanguard is like their own company, it's like an investment company, like a GT. They will first sell you their own product before they sell other people's stuff. Because these ETFs I told you, different people will do the same ETF. Just when you go to a bank now and they have their own mutual fund, GT will have mutual fund, Stanbic will have mutual fund and co. Vanguard is like that, it's an investment company. So they will sell their own. Ghana, you can use Bamboo, they will push their own type of ETF or stuffs to you first. But a broker like Trading 212 is in the middle. Everybody can come to their own. Do you understand? So you see Vanguard, you see Fidelity, you see that one, you see this one, all of those things in there. So that's why I always prefer something like a mid-range broker like a Trading 212 who is in the middle. And in America, you see things like Robinhood. Yes, we all own
Someone is
Robinhood. Yes.
asking for your link.
Please, DM me. Oh, we will send it after the call. We cannot put it here because you won't be able to click. But after this call, just DM me now. So once I get off this live, we will send it to you. So you can buy. Those are the apps to buy it on. All these things I'm telling you about. You can buy them on these apps. For Ghana, I've said you can use Bamboo. So if you put your country down, I'll likely give you a particular app that works there that you can buy shares with. Now, which ones am I buying? Which ETFs and stocks will I advise? Again, this is not financial advice. Yeah. So you don't say that I told you because no, we have no authority to give advice. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Number one, this ETF I told you that is the S&P in Canada. You can use Wealth Simple. There's an app called Wealth Simple in Canada you can use. Now the extra trick for us in the US, in the UK, Canada, the US and co is we usually have what we call tax advantaged accounts. I respond to DMs, so I respond to DM Baje. That's why I'm surprised. Kai to Yaya, I'm very surprised you've said that. I respond to DM Baje. Anyway, so I was talking about
Someone is asking for Sweden.
Sweden. Trading 212 works in Sweden. Trading 212 or eToro, it works there. Nigeria, you can have Bamboo, you can have Truth, Chaka, and all of those things. So can I always buy everyone I have when I have some funds, right? Yes, you can always buy. Moneybox, yes, but let me tell you something about Moneybox. Moneybox is good. You can help. You can do all of those things. The problem is that they charge you a commission when you invest with someone like Trading 212, it's tax free. Like you don't not tax free, I mean commissions free. They don't charge you commissions. Unfortunately in Nigeria all the brokers will charge. Now for something like the US, UK, in Canada as well, we have what we call tax advantaged accounts. That's what your ISA is, your stocks and shares ISA. Your stocks and shares ISA give us up to £20,000 a year that you can invest there. They don't give you the money, but you have that allowance, and so any money you make there will be tax free. The government will not touch it. So you see this 1 million I say you can invest if you're investing £100, £200 a month for the next 20 years and go. Whatever money you make there is tax free. Nothing. Yes. That's why you use your stocks and shares ISA inside the Trading 212. So you don't have to go and open a stocks ISA account separately. No. Inside the Trading 212 or eToro that you're using, you can pick the stocks ISA option there and you invest there. That's number one. In Canada, you have what they call, I think is the, what do they call this thing? UTME, be something account. But they also have tax advantage account that you can open there. Yeah, it's very easy. Yes, so they tax your life. Bamboo and you they tax, yes. Unfortunately, that's what we have in Nigeria. But I'll tell you a broker that doesn't charge in Nigeria, that is commissions free. Vest. It's called Vest. VEST. My money is there. So I'll tell you, but most people don't know them. It's there. I've been using it for years. They used to be called another name. but they've changed their name to Vest, and it is commissions free. I said, when you know knowledge,
Mm. Knowledge is
knowledge is
power.
power.
Mm.
Hey, okay. So those are the different ones. So in America, you have what they call a Roth IRA. So if you invest in that account, is it a UTM or something account? If you invest in there, you don't get tax. The money is tax free. Yeah. So you get, if you can invest and get tax free money, is very important, because imagine if you made 1 million and all the money you contributed was actually maybe 100K, and the money has grown to 1 million. The government will look at you before and say, hey, good job, my daughter. Let's remove the 100K that you put. Okay,
That you
900. They will
invest.
now
Hmm.
slice it for you and take 40% out of it. Yeah. So that's the way. That's the stuff. Now the stocks that I do. Number one, S&P 500 ETF. That's a one I always put my money in. The US, it's called ah. She said we did talk about best when we have consultation, because people are afraid. Eh? In the let me write the name. In Nigeria, it's called VOO, and yes, in US it's a Rotary. Fantastic, yes. And you see that we have plenty questions that we cannot even answer.
We cannot even answer all.
See? And in UK it's called VUAG. Yes, that's the S&P 500. That's the number one ETF I tell anybody to do. The number two ETF is the one that I love the most. That one is my tech ETF. Yeah, that one is called in Africa or anywhere else in the world, it's called VGT, and in the UK it's called XLKS. Yeah, that's the second one. XLKs. That one is tech companies. Basically tech companies. So it has about 300 and something tech companies in one, and it does an average of 20% a year. Imagine, and it's done that for the last 20 plus years, an average of 20% a year. Last year it did 30%. If you put your money in January last year and you took it out in December, you would have, if you put £100 or £1,000, you are taking your £1,000 plus £300 straight. And this year alone, that ETF in the last 1 year, that's October last year to now, if you were taking your money out, it has done another 27%. Like, with no stress. So when I say that lack of knowledge, when we say this, it's not because I don't, hey, my people, there's money. May God help us. Now, the third ETF I'm going to tell you to do is not really an ETF, it's like a stock. It's into real estate. It's a REIT, a real estate investment trust. Now, I know when most of us think about real estate or houses, we think, oh, we have to go and get big money. No. There's something called REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust. And what do? They are big companies that own a lot of properties. And when you invest in them, you become a part owner of those companies. So most of the big malls you see here, I don't know if you're in different places, all those big, huge malls and co, they're likely owned by REITs. And those REITs, what I love is when we think of property, we likely think of houses that we live in and co. Paid forex. I very much that's the forex people. My brother, they been pay all these people. They have strength. I don't mean read. I mean REIT. REITs. You can go and Google them. REIT. So they're called REITs. Yeah, REITs. Yes, I've written them down. REITs. They are called Real Estate Investment Trust. I've spelt it REITs. So let me explain the different types. I'll tell you the one that I buy and for different reasons. Yeah. Now REITs, like I say, they own multiple companies, and the same way I was saying that we as human beings, there's so many questions there. I wish I could answer everything. Just stay with us. I'll try to explain as much as possible, and I'm happy that we're engaging, we're asking questions. So
Yeah.
REITs, as I was saying, those REITs, yeah, unlike most of us, when we think of owning real estate, we own the one that people will come and rent and co. REITs are a bit different. There are some REITs that they focus on houses like that, apartment buildings and co. There are some REITs that what they own is all those huge those huge, big, tall offices,
Uh-oh.
iconic offices across the world. They own that. There are some REITs that what they focus on is entertainment. There's a REIT that I love, Vichy Properties. That one, they have over 60,000 hotel rooms. They have over 500 restaurants. All this MGN Grand, all of those things, they have that. Yeah, there are some REITs that they focus on data centers. There are some REITs that focus on warehouses. Like all they own is huge warehouses where all this Amazon and co where they keep their stuff. Some REITs own it. If you've passed by in the UK, if you are driving on all these our roads and co, you'll have seen something like Prologues, all those stuff. Those are REITs. The REITs that own those huge warehouses. And those warehouses are the backbone of Amazon. Because if they don't have warehouses close to those places, where would they save
Yeah.
those things?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very important that you look at those REITs. There are some REITs that what they focus on is essential things, like they own thousands of like petrol stations, thousands of like car washes and co. So there are different types of REITs. Now the REITs that I usually do, I'll give you like two or three that I personally invest in, so you can decide which one. I like Getty Realty. Getty Realty is very nice because it focuses on essential buildings, essential stuff like this, where like this what did they call it I spoke about, like petrol stations, all of those. There are other REITs that focus on things like the one like Vici Properties. I talk about it a lot as well. Vici focuses on entertainment, hotels. You know that in this world, my people will say no matter what happens, people will do shino. I don't want to say Shino. They will do Shino. You know Shino Abi. They will still do Shino. People will go to Las Vegas. They can do all of those things. So that one focuses on that. Then there's other ones as well, that you can do. But those two REITs or all realty owns single tenants and co. So different stuff. So let me write the names as I'm writing them so that because people are asking me. Vici Properties, there is that's a REIT, there is Getty Realty. Omo, you people want to kill us with questions,
With
oh.
I'm seeing the questions like
Getty Realty. Sorry, it's not Getty Royalty. Getty Realty. So I've typed it there. Those are the rates. Now, the other ETFs that I do, I'm going to tell you as well. So I've told you one for technology. I've told you one for top 500 companies in America. I've told you one for REIT. Now, let me tell you one for dividends, because there are two ways you make money in the stock market. You make money via the stock price going up. And usually there are new companies that do that. So the stock price will be going up, and so you make money from there. Now, you also make money in some other companies when they give you dividends, which is free money that you get paid. Now, this REIT that I told you about, the good thing they do is they pay you dividends. That's really like this Vici Property I told you about. It pays you like 5% a year in free money. Like Getty Realty that I told you, it pays you like 6% a year. If you pay for consultation, I can give you other ones that give you more. But this one is for free. Yeah? You know that. Getty Realty and Co. Now, so much info.
much information.
Yeah, I'm telling you all these ones that are beginner stuff. All these things I'm telling you are beginner free stuff. Yeah? Now, the next ETF, the other ETFs I'm telling you about is this ETFs will focus on dividends. The other one I told you will focus on growth. So if you buy it for 100 naira, it can go to 200 naira. Now, the other one, Central Asia, I'm using
And
Bamboo.
Central
Ah,
Asia.
Central Asia, go to Itoro, my brother. Itoro and Trading 212. Itoro and Trading 212. Go there. Go there. Those ones you will make you will have in Central
Normally,
Asia. I can tell you for free. Yeah.
how much is consultation?
Don't worry. Just go ahead. My consultation is not cheap. It's cheap, sha. It's affordable. So let me say. So just DM. You immediately get the answer to that in my DM. What's the difference between accumulating and distributing? I'll explain that, but let me finish what I'm giving so that people get it, so I don't jump to different things now. So that I've given you ETF that grows. I've given you like the technology one, it grows very well. This VOO is low risk, so no stress. It's top 500 companies in America. And then there's an ETF that gives you good dividends. I'll give you the name of the one in UK, SCHD. This is the one in anybody can buy, but in America, sorry, in Europe, we can buy FUSD. So those are two what do they call it? Two dividend ETFs. This one gives you about 4% a year. So they have in them about 100 plus companies, but are dividend companies. Dividend companies are companies that are older. So these ones, they are no longer growing. Imagine a Coca-Cola. It doesn't need to grow anymore. It's in virtually all the companies in the countries in the world. So it doesn't need to grow anymore. So they mostly pay you dividends. And this one, these two ETFs, SCHD and FUSD, what they basically do is they give you dividends every year, no matter what happens.
Someone is asking a question. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
Please, my investing my money on Stanbic IBTC.
I'll say it is, and they are very safe. It's just, I mean, I don't know how much I'm making there. So this is for me. It's short term. They're short term stuff. They're very safe, very very safe. Your money is not going to run. Your money is good there, but I'll say that just try to do this stock, do this ETFs. I'm telling you, you will come back to testify. In the next few years, you will come back and say, I met one auntie on the internet. She told me to go and put my money in this ETF. You will testify, no be mouth, because they've done well over the years. Yeah. Okay. So those are the. I've given you ETF now, guys. Are you listening? I've given you ETF top 500 companies in America ETF. I've given you ETF for technology that does 20% on an average a year. I've given you a REIT that you can buy, which is a real estate investment trust. I've given you two. One of those REITs, they have hundreds, thousands of properties like petrol stations and co. The second one owns different types of hotels, yeah, and co. And then that's on those, and then I've given you the one for dividends. Now the lady that asked on accumulating versus
No
distributing.
sound. Can everybody, let's please, someone just said no sound.
Ah,
Let's be sure it's just this person.
can you hear us? I hope no, I think people can hear us. I think it's the same person. There is sound though. Someone's already answering them.
Okay,
We
okay.
didn't hear. Okay. All right. So accumulating versus distributing. Let me explain. To get what that means first, then let me go back and explain. For people who are in Nigeria or outside of UK or outside of Europe, they might not understand. So let me explain. You see what happens. US ETFs, these ETFs I've told you about. Yeah. I think rejoin Ikeji Mercy, rejoin, yeah? Just rejoin the call. I think that might be the issue. Um, so let me explain. You see, these US ETFs all across the world, people can buy it. The only place that we cannot buy US ETFs that I've listed, a lot of them, is in Europe. And it's because Europe gives a very high level. They say that those ETFs must meet some specific level to be able to be bought by Europeans. So what those companies did was they created a European version for it, for those ETFs. So like I put VOO here for the S&P 500. What the same companies that did VOO did was to create one for Europe. And this one for Europe in this case is VUAG or VUSA. So that's what they've done. So basically, in Europe, we cannot buy the same ETF that the whole people in the world are buying. They have to buy, like I mentioned, the third REIT. Don't worry, I'll repeat it. um, so the people in Europe, we cannot buy the same type of ETFs that people in Nigeria or America or UK or sorry or US and co buy. We buy different versions, but there's always a version for every single ETF that they've done. Those same companies will create one that works in America. Now that sorry, that works in Europe or UK and in UK and co. Now the biggest issue we now have is some of those ETFs in Europe, they now have what they call accumulating or distributing. Now the difference is very simple. Any ETF that you want to buy in Europe that you see accumulating in front of, it just means that when dividends come in from those companies, yeah, instead of them to distribute the money to you and give it to you and put it in your accounts, no, they will take that money and reinvest it for you. So the money will be compounding. So for that particular ETF, even you don't need to stress about, oh, when the dividend comes for me to reinvest or something, they reinvest it. Now there are some ETFs that they are distributing. Those ones, if you see any ETF that has DIST, they take the ETF. This is those ETFs, those ones will give you back the money. They will distribute the money for you. That's the difference. Instead of them to take the dividends and reinvest it, they'll give it to you. The other accumulating one, those ones take the money, they reinvest it for you. So you don't need to reinvest. So that's the difference between the accumulating. So most of them, so for example, for people in Europe specifically, the top 500 companies, the S&P 500, yeah? There's VUSA and then there is VUAG. VUSA VUSA is the one that distributes the it's the same the two of them are the same ETF, but VUSA, it distributes the dividend. So if they distribute dividend to you, you can take the money, however small, and you can reinvest it or you can spend your money. Now the VUAG in its own case will reinvest the money. You see, that's the difference. So that's the hope we get it now. That's just so there's some ETF that are distributing, there's some ETFs that are accumulating. It's fine. Don't bother yourself too much, yeah. So that's that. Now another ETF I'll tell you to go and check out in this UK in Europe is called I want to write in Europe. It's called SEMG. It's a semiconductor ETF, yeah. And then, please, it's today mainly for stocks, so we touch on boring companies. I'm going to talk on companies. And then US or Niger, it's called SMH. SMH, yeah. Those are so those two, they are great. This SMH, if you're in US or in Nigeria or other parts of the any other part of the world, you can buy SMH ETF. It's an ETF that gives up to 25% a year. It has just 26 companies in it, but they are all semiconductor companies. So think of great companies like Nvidia, Apply Semiconductor, Qualcomm, great companies all in one. That's what that ETF, it gives an average of 25% a year. It's a solid ETF. In the last year alone, that ETF gave like 40%. And
Wow.
again, remember, it's not one company, it's a multitude of companies together. Yeah, that's one. And then number two, I also gave you the name of the one in the UK, in Europe. SEMG or SMH, but SEMG is fantastic. That's a secret. Go and buy that one. It's a fantastic ETF. Yeah. Okay. Questions are just killing us. Ah, God, I cannot answer everything. Stocks are businesses too.
It's
Yes.
already past 8. We've done an hour
We've done
now.
an hour. Stocks are businesses. All this Meta and Co, they are business. Now, let me explain another way to make money here. And I'm going to be honest. And this is a long discussion. Long discussion is buying businesses. We're not used to it because it's something we don't know, but you can buy ready-made businesses in this UK or in America and Co. Ready-made businesses. Okay, the other REIT I mentioned is O Realty. O Realty. Let me write it down for you. Or Income Realty. It's called O. Just Google. That's the second REIT, the third REIT for Ada. So the other way that we can make money here is boring businesses, just buying businesses. It's amazing the number of businesses on sale. So all this business like care homes, like all of them, they are out there available to be bought. Imagine that we sat down together, 10 of us, we all bring £5,000. We
Wow.
bring it together. We go and buy a whole care home that already has staff, that is already there and co. And we put someone there to be heading it. Not someone like, someone that is a operations manager that knows the stuff. You are making steady money, like sure guaranteed. And there's hundreds and thousands of companies available for sale in this UK. Same thing in America, same thing in Canada. I know in Nigeria and co, we are not used to those sort of
Those
things
office, yeah.
because people don't normally sell companies like that. But here in the Western world, there's proper structure for selling a whole business where all the customers, everything, you do the staff, everything. I have personally helped someone in this UK, gathered a couple of my clients to buy their own businesses. I have someone who recently bought a whole business that they have over 52 staff, a care home here in UK. 52 staff, some of them are from Nigeria, different parts of the world. They have how many contracts already down and co, and he just bought the business. So their businesses for sale. And do you know what a business is? Yeah, a whole business, like everything is already done. They're already succeeding, likely. They're just old. Do you understand? It's not like they're in. I wouldn't even advise you to buy a company that is not doing well already. They are
Mm-hmm.
likely just old. They want to retire. Their
Mm-hmm.
children are not interested in the business and co. And don't go for the flashy business. Go for the business that is not flashy. The cleaning business. Go for the stuff. I mean, I'm not in the market for franchises, so people who want to do franchise is fine with you. But I'm not, boss. I'm sure your wife is very intelligent. I can tell you she is. If my husband sits down here, he'll tell you all my intelligence and my wala. So trust me, we all have our different strengths.
Yeah.
Um, so if you buy those businesses, so and like I was saying, don't go for flashy businesses that are all this of no, go for the businesses that let me tell you the secret. If you were to start or to buy a cleaning business here in the UK, yeah, they're different prices, they're different ranges. They're businesses from 50,000 to as much as millions. But I'll say that don't go for things that are in the millions. Go for businesses between 50 something K to like 300 or less. Stay
Mm-hmm.
there. Stay there. Just stay in those simple way. Once you stay in those simple one, you are fine. Because that way, let me tell you, the secret is, you see those sort of companies, those big brokers are not interested in them. And those companies, you can turn them around. Now, if you buy a cleaning business that maybe they have like 10 offices that already have contracts with them that they clean, to get people to clean is easy. You don't have to train people with accounting and code to clean. By the
Yeah.
time you take them there and told them, "Well, these are the chemicals we use, this is the time you must get there, you must scrub this place very," you see that is low barrier because the people don't need extra training. And if
Mm,
someone messes up, you can always do it by yourself. It's not like you can't clean. You see what I'm
mm,
saying? Those are, you want businesses like that, that it's easy to go into. So
mm.
things like cleaning, care. We are inherently very caring people. We just don't know, a lot of Africans. We're very caring because it's in our nature
Yeah.
to care for ourselves. So all these care businesses that we are coming here to do, you can buy. You literally can buy. This guy I told you, even though this one was a massive one, you can buy businesses, real businesses that have real staff and co. I have businesses that I'm interested in, things like decor, home stuff and co. I'm interested in businesses like that, But there are other types. So, like I told, and there are some businesses too that I want you to run away from. Like all these restaurants run. Don't do restaurants. Don't, my dear, the fastest way to go bankrupt is restaurant business. Mm. Fastest way. The worst after restaurants is hotel.
Mm,
Because hotel always have restaurants inside. So it's double wahala. Run from those. There's some businesses. So when people come to me, I tell them some businesses that don't buy, just those, just run away from. They don't make sense. Yeah. But things like care home, like nursery. If you have children in this country, you understand why nurseries are huge. They
yeah.
pay serious money for
They pay-
nursery.
Yeah.
Serious money for a nursery and co. So nurseries, those ones are there. You can buy. They're solid ones. Like I know someone who works in insurance for nurseries. If you know how many nurseries are closing down, not because of anything, they have people, they have stuff. The only problem they're closing down is they are old. Most of the people running nurseries now are old, so they are tired. They want to retire. Most of them are just closing down. They don't even have anybody to sell it to. They're just closing down. They're just telling the kids to go. And we have those businesses available for sale. Guys, I beg you in God's name, open your eyes. And this is not only in the UK, US, Canada, and co. So many available for sale. So don't take my word for it. Don't ask for me. I want the word my so you don't have to do anything. Most of these places, I tell people, don't own it and don't be running it as a black person. Get an operations manager that is
That is why.
another thread. Another, I'm not talking about before they shut us down, my sister. Just get someone that has different color. Yeah, let them be happy. Let them be the face. You be making your money, and for that, is instant. So far, you buy good businesses, and there's a lot to put in place. I want to start something on it. I've just been so busy. People have been chasing me to start a whole community about these businesses because I
Yeah, you need
promise you,
to. Honestly, I
we
think you need
can
to.
literally change lives with that. If we buy, look at how many, if all of us come together, buy this business, buy that business, buy this business. That's what all these other communities are doing. They are making serious money owning good businesses. And when you own businesses, you can make demands, you can own governments, you can, like, there's so much that come with owning businesses. And it's not just about starting. And when you buy a business, you don't buy something that has failed. You don't buy something that, because if you start a business now, you can fail very easily. A lot of startups, 90% of startups fail in 1 year.
Yeah.
Start business. Whereas you buy a business that's been there for 10 years, 20 years. So I thank God, beg you people. Man, so many comments. I'm so sorry, guys, that there's so many comments and co. So there's so much we can do in this country. And when you're abroad, there's so much. There's nothing stopping us. Start from investing in stocks, ETF. Oh, I didn't mention stocks that I invest in. I usually stay with the big boys when I invest. Trust me, I've done the smaller boys, and I will tell you for free. There's a reason some companies are number one. There's a reason for some companies are number two. There's a reason some companies are number 10. I'll give you a secret. Any company you invest in, that tomorrow morning someone who has 10 billion can come and take over that business, is not worth putting your money in. It's
Mm,
not worth it. It's as simple as that. If you are, like I explained when we in the beginning, when I said there's a guy in Ladipo who has 15 shops in Ladipo, and he
mm,
also has the same shops in Abuja and Co. And he brings in a lot of spare parts. And there's this boy on the small side who has just one shop and is selling something. And you think if you invest in that small boy, he pays you because his shop is smaller. It can grow. I'm not saying it cannot grow. But if that big man that has 15 shops, if he decides that it looks like what that boy is selling, he takes that thing and turns it and gives it to you at 100 naira. When that guy is selling at 250, that guy is going to be out of stock. He's going to be out of business in how many days?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think like that when you invest in businesses, because essentially what you're doing is you're handing your money over to that business to trade or to manufacture something. So for something like a Apple, is a company going to start Apple tomorrow morning? Is someone going to open, even if they have trillions, which people don't have, are they going to open another Apple and create the same phone and better? No. So their mouth is there, very competitive. And Apple, I'm doing a video, guys. If you have not joined my YouTube channel, what are you doing? Go and join my YouTube channel. I'm having longer videos there where I can explain things in detail like this.
Hmm.
Apple, for example, is more than phone. Apple is a lot more. It's a whole ecosystem. They have AirPods. If you know AirPod alone, the sales of AirPod alone is more than times 10 of some companies on the stock market that you invest in. Just the AirPods. I'm not talking of their phone business, just AirPods alone. And then there is the whole App Store. Do you know App Store takes 30% of what every stuff listed there? I have apps on the App Store, so I'll tell you for free. I'm CEO of an app. I'll tell you we pay 30% of whatever anybody pays goes to Apple. So it's not that's a whole business on its own. And think of millions of that. Now they are going into Apple TV. There is the MacBooks. I just bought all of the. I have a huge Mac Mini. Then there's the iPhones and all of those that interact with each other. And you are telling me those are companies that nobody can wake up tomorrow and become an Apple.
Hmm.
You have to think of companies like that. Nvidia, like I told you, it owns 80% of the semiconductor market. 80%. It is such a robust company that if you are not investing in it, I don't know what you're doing. Put your £100, let it turn to £300 in 2 years. Don't listen to people that say just go and buy a smaller company and co. Invest. Look for industries that are growing. When I talk about Tesla, as much as their leader is, I don't want to say anything, but Tesla has such a huge advantage when it comes to electric vehicles. Such a huge advantage. With the charging, they have a lot of charging stations across Europe, across all of those things. So apart from the car itself, they have their own industry, their own manufacturing plants. A lot of these companies and co, they don't even own their own manufacturing. They have to go to other places to manufacture. These people, they manufacture for other companies. You have to think of companies like that, that what they're selling is essential, or what they're selling, what they're doing, nobody can easily wake up and do it. I learned this from Warren Buffett, that if you're buying a company, investing in a company, yeah, in stocks and co, you have to think of it like, okay, this company that I'm investing in, this company that I'm investing in, Apple TV can't beat Netflix. Oh yeah. Nobody's saying they can beat Netflix, but you remember, Apple TV is just one thing from Apple. They're trying to steal into there. But can Netflix beat them with phone? No. Can Netflix? Does Netflix produce these computers, Mark? No. So many things. You have to think of things in that way when you invest, because you're essentially giving your money to this company. If you don't think that deeply and that robust when you invest, you will lose money. A lot of people, especially when I see people investing now in the Nigerian stock market, invest in the Nigerian stock market beautifully well, please. But be very careful in companies you invest in. If you're investing in an insurance company or something that you have never heard about, you've never used, and co, because people are buying it, it's just a matter of time before you lose your money. I can tell you that from the depth of my heart. It's just a matter of time. You're just doing a pump and dump. So you have to buy things that make sense. You have to buy things that companies that you believe. So when I tell people that things like Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, do you know how many people use Meta in a year? In a month? And I say in a day, Meta has over 3 billion people who use them across Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. They
That's a lot.
understand you. They understand what you do. They understand. Do you know how many things we talk? So those are companies that, and they're not just sitting there. They're investing in AI. They invest in all of these things. You have to think and invest in companies like that. Do you think a company is going to start today and get to 3 billion people? Do you know how many people we have? 8 billion in the world, or how many people? Whereas 3 billion are on their device or on their apps every day.
Wow.
Hmm. So something I learned for Warren Buffett that I was talking about is, if you are investing in a company, you have to invest in it and believe that if someone else has a lot of money, can they take over that business? Can they do that business better? If they cannot, then invest in that company. So what do I mean? If someone, Nvidia is doing what they do today, they built the network, they are supplying GPUs, they have backlogs, all of those things. Can another company come today and become Nvidia and take over their business? And just like that. If no, then my dear, invest with your Nvidia. There's a reading. Whereas if you see other semiconductor companies that you are looking at them, or AI companies, and if Nvidia has 5 billion or 10 billion, they can take that company and take all they're doing and go. Then don't invest in that company. You have to think very deep. You have to think very deep, very strategic about investing. Most of us, we don't do those things. And that's why I always say, just do ETFs if you are starting out and you don't understand companies. But me, oh, if I was going to buy, or companies that I invest in, you will see the likes of Apple, Amazon, Meta, Google, all of those things. You see my money there. Apple, like I can't stop talking about Apple. Apple, Microsoft. Virtually every company in the world that you see today, every company in the world, arguably, has Microsoft today.
Mm.
Is either they use the Microsoft PCs, or they're using their Excel or something. You have to think like that. Think like something, because all these international companies, all these big companies in the world, we're already spending our money there. We're already spending our money there. You might as well own it. Like I was telling my husband which day that I'm going to buy iPhone 17 Pro Max, and the man is looking at me and smiling. And I said, yes, I have investments there. I'm buying our product. I'm getting eye on our own product. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So please just do it. Yeah, Palantir is a good one. I invested in Palantir. My stocks in Palantir is 20 times up.
Wow. Wow.
20 times what I put in it. I bought it. I can't even. I think I bought it in 2000, and if I remember clearly, 2019 or so, and I forgot about it. I bought it then. My stocks in Palantir, I'm telling you, almost 20 times what I invested in it. I just didn't put big money. I should have put big money, but I didn't have big money. I was just buying different things. But what I'm saying is, stocks is the fastest way that anybody like you and me today, with our £100, without needing to start a business with 1,000, with 1 million or something, stocks is the fastest way to grow your money. Fastest way to grow your money. Yeah? Fastest way, easiest way, stocks and ETF. Good. Guys, do you have any other questions? Omo, I'm seeing that we are flying, so many questions, so many discussions. I hope it's been a good session.
It
I hope
is.
it's been a very good session for us, and we've learned. What's the name? Nvidia. Okay, I think you've seen this reading.
Just
So
looking.
many questions and co. So if you want to start today, if you want to start, please get a brokerage, an app like Trading 212 if you're in the UK, and co. If you are in Nigeria, US, and co. There are other apps as well, Bamboo, all of those things. Get those apps so that you can start there. You can buy those ETF I've listed for us. It's very simple. You don't need to stress to start to do that. Buy the ETFs, and then you can also buy individual companies as well.
Someone just asked a question. What are the other source of investment or income apart from stock
ETFs and REITs. I've already spoken about ones. Buying businesses.
time business? Yeah.
Yes, buying businesses. Please, that's one. Buying businesses is an excellent way in this UK. Of course, everybody knows you can start a business. Beautiful. You can start a business. You can. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Buying, starting a business is easy. You can start in your room and be selling something, but you have a steep learning curve and all of those things.
Please drop
But
my YouTube channel name. Someone is
my
asking.
YouTube is Wealth Motley. Wealth Motley on all platforms. So Wealth Motley. Just find it. Please follow my YouTube. That one I'm even begging. Follow my YouTube, please. I'm going to be dropping so many videos that we've already sort of started. I'm literally in the middle of editing some. So many videos where you can stuff you can do. In Nigeria, you can use platforms like Bamboo, like Truth, like Chaka and Co. A secret one you can use is Vest, VEST. Is excellent. I've used them for years. It's a very good one. It's called Vest. That's for people in Nigeria. And it's in for a lot of people as well in different in Brazil, all of those things. You'll be amazed at where our people travel to. Then for people in the UK, people in Europe, people in Asia and co, Trading 212, eToro works for you. very well there. If you are in America, use Robinhood or Vanguard or all of those. But Robinhood, I think, is a very good one for me. And then, yeah, any other questions? In UK, Trading 212 have told us. What of US
Following
Robinhood?
right away. Someone said I'm following you right away.
Thank you very much. Come and adopt me.
And probably your
Thank
university. That's one
you.
of the
Thank
elite
you.
boosters in the UK.
Okay. Please, can one use more than one ISA? No, everybody has one ISA, one stocks and shares ISA. That's what you have. But the good thing is each year the amount compounds. So you can invest 20,000 this year. Next year again, invest another 20,000. The year after you can invest another 20,000. Vest, yes, Vest is user friendly. Thank you. Thank you guys. I really see they've given us really great comments. Okay, my sister, what I want us to do is this. I see that I told you in the beginning there was something I wanted us to do together. So maybe when you have time, we can do it in my studio here in Derby. I want us to do a series together, but it's going to be on YouTube where we pick people's specific challenges. I see a lot of people send comments to you of problems and co, where we pick specific financial challenges and we talk about them and we can prefer good solutions. So imagine someone is earning 2,000 pounds and they want to find how maybe they can invest 100 pounds or how they can structure their stuff and all. I get a lot of questions like that, and I'm sure you do as well, on how to say you are in the UK, this is what you can do with your money, or this is a financial challenge you have, let's answer the stuff together. I think it'll be a very, very good series, and I would like to ask people if you see something like that, that we can answer. Can you mention why we should run from restaurant? My husband is raising money. Is the fact that the money is not plenty and the stress in restaurants is a
This stress,
lot.
yeah.
And it's not like Nigeria where you can easily, there won't be too much regulations or anything. Here, there's serious regulations. Do you
Mm.
understand? Serious regulations. There's serious stuff. So I'd say that those businesses they lose money more than they make. So I'll avoid it if I were you. Mm. I'd avoid it if I were you. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a very fantastic session. And thank you. We have such a robust, engaging crowd of people who are talking, doing all of those things. So
The
I'll
comment
say,
the comment section has been engaging.
as in engaging, yes, very engaging. So I'll say, please avoid. There's some businesses that personally will tell you to just avoid, like all those restaurants. And funny enough, go online, just Google businesses for sale. The most will be restaurants. Ask them why they are running from it. Most will be restaurants. You don't need restaurants. You don't need all this drop shipping business. Amazon has taken over everything from them. So don't do all those things. Those business, just focus on those ones that are essential, like plumbing, all this HVAC, all this what do they call it? This business, I forgot what they call it. Oh,
Someone
skip
said I'm looking
hire.
forward to the collaboration.
You see? Thank you very much. I think we definitely should do that stuff. I really look for where we answer questions, answer a lot of questions. Answer a lot of. I think you will do very well where we can read it, Uncle. Please just follow my pages. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Amazing. It's been
Thank
a it's been a lot. Like this is really, really thank you so much. Like thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much
having me
for
as
your time.
well.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me. Thank you. Please, if you've been on this call, I take God beg you. Please don't just be a hearer of the word.
Yes,
Don't be a hearer. Do it. I feel like when you hear some things, God will judge you if you don't do it after. God will just judge you. Maybe they told you to invest, you do not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Please. Yeah? God will judge. Don't let God judge you, oh, my sis, my people. Do these things. Open a brokerage today. Pick an app. Put in £50, $50, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira. Invest. And I promise you will see returns. That's the way, again, like I told you in the beginning, we can grow your money without you lifting a muscle. There's no sweeter thing in this world than money that your money made. You will spend it, money that you didn't stress for. You put your money somewhere, your 100K,
And
and
your
your
money
100K made
grows.
extra 10K. When you spend that money, you spend it with joy. Please, let that be you. Let that be you. Yeah? All right. Thank you very much.
All right, now thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you. I
so
really
much.
do
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me as well. Thank you, everybody.
All right,
Best
thank you
group
guys.
ever. As in the comment section, you guys are joined. Thank you so much. You guys were so engaging, discussing, asking questions. Thank you so much. Please, please, please take action. Thank you very much.
All right, now
All
thank you.
right.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Good night. Thanks. Bye, everyone. Bye. I will check my inbox.